Sometimes the most terrifying people don't hide in abandoned buildings or dark alleyways. Sometimes they live quietly. They go to work. They smile at neighbours, and no one suspects what they're capable of. Between 1988 and 1989, 4 young girls disappeared across Tokyo's suburb. Parents became afraid to let their children walk home alone. Communities stopped feeling safe. And Japan found itself searching for a predator who seemed to vanish without a trace. Tonight, we're talking about one of the country's most infamous criminal investigations, the case of Tsutomu Miyazaki. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. Before we start, I want to put a warning first. This episode contains discussions regarding child murder, graphic details, and mental health struggles. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Let's start. Tsutomu Miyazaki was born on August 21st, 1962, in Tokyo. He arrived prematurely and was born with a congenital deformity affecting his hands. Throughout childhood, he struggled with self-confidence. He was quiet, socially withdrawn, often bullied by classmates because of his appearance. Yet academically, he excelled. Teachers remembered him as intelligent and capable. He consistently ranked near the top of his class throughout school. His parents hoped he would attend one of Japan's prestigious universities. But when he failed to gain admission, something seemed to change. Instead, he enrolled in a junior college to study phototechnology. Friends later described him becoming increasingly isolated. He spent more time alone, immersing himself in comics, movies, and collecting thousands of videotapes. People who knew Miyazaki later painted a complicated picture. He wasn't loud. He wasn't aggressive. He rarely attracted attention. After graduating, he found work as a photo technician. To co-workers, he appeared polite and dependable. But behind closed doors, he lived an increasingly isolated life. He was collecting pornographic films and literature, and by 1984, he had developed an interest in child pornography. His grandfather, one of the few people he reportedly felt close to, died in 1988. Relatives later said the loss deeply affected him. Whether that event contributed to what followed remains impossible to know. But investigators would later conclude that by this point, his behavior had already become deeply concerning. He was so distraught that he actually ate his grandfather's cremated ashes, believing it would bring him closer to his grandfather. His sister caught him peeping at her while she was bathing, and when his father scolded him, Miyazaki attacked his mother. After this incident, he decided to leave home and live in his own apartment. Once he was living alone, Miyazaki transformed into what can only be described as a monster. On August 22nd, 1988, just one day after his 26th birthday, 4-year-old Mari Kono disappeared while playing in a park near her home. Miyazaki had been watching her from a distance and approached when she was alone. He told her he was her father's friend and that her father had asked him to pick her up. The trusting child followed him to his car. He drove Mari to a forested area west of Tokyo, where they talked for about 30 minutes before he suffocated her to death. He then sexually abused her body and sent Mari's cremated remains to her family with a postcard reading, "Mari, cremation, bones, investigate, prove." Search parties formed immediately. Neighbours distributed flyers. Parents joined police officers, hoping someone had seen the little girl. Days became weeks. There were almost no leads. Then, 2 months later, another child disappeared. Her name was Masami Yoshizawa. She was 7 years old. Masami Yoshizawa was walking alone when Miyazaki coaxed her into his car with similar lies about taking her home safely. He took her to the same bridge where he had killed Mari and did everything the same to her. But this time, he left her body near the forested bridge area. He kept her complete clothing in his apartment but didn't send any disturbing postcards to her family. But again, there were few witnesses. Again, there seemed to be no connection. Communities became anxious. Parents stopped allowing children to walk alone. Schools began reminding students never to speak to strangers. Then came a third disappearance. 4-year-old Erika Namba was walking home from a friend's house when Miyazaki spotted her and successfully lured her into his car. He took her to a parking lot where he forced her to remove her clothes, photographed her, and committed the same disturbing things like towards his previous victims. He sent another postcard to her family made from magazine cutouts that read, "Erika, cold, cough, throat, rest, death." By now, investigators began noticing similarities. All the victims were very young girls. All disappeared in suburban neighborhoods. And in 2 cases, the families received disturbing anonymous communications. Police never released every detail publicly, but investigators believed whoever was responsible wanted attention. Not publicity, attention. The messages appeared designed to unsettle grieving families and demonstrate control. Those communications convinced detectives they were dealing with a serial offender. But Miyazaki had been careful enough to avoid detection for months. Until June 1989, he claimed his next victim, 5-year-old Ayako Nomoto. He found her playing alone in a park and asked if he could take her photo. After photographing her, he convinced her to get in his car, where he immediately killed her by suffocation. This time, he brought Ayako's body back to his apartment and kept her for 2 days, during which he continued to do disturbing things. When Ayako's body began to decompose, Miyazaki dismembered it, and like with his other victims, he kept her hands, and according to his later confessions, he drank the blood from these severed hands and ate parts of them. By this stage, fear had spread throughout Tokyo's western suburbs. Parents escorted children everywhere. Neighborhood patrols increased. Schools changed dismissal procedures. For nearly a year, Japan had been searching for someone who always seemed one step ahead. Then, the investigation changed entirely because of chance. Miyazaki's reign of terror finally ended on June 23, 1989. While hunting for more victims, he spotted 2 siblings playing in a park and managed to separate the younger child from the older one. He was in the process of photographing the child without clothes when the children's father caught him in the act. The enraged father attacked Miyazaki, who managed to escape initially but was caught by police when he tried to reach his car. Initially, officers believed they were investigating inappropriate photography involving a minor. No one realized they had just arrested the man behind Japan's largest child murder investigation. Everything changed when detectives searched Miyazaki's apartment. Inside, they discovered thousands of videotapes, photographs, magazines, personal writings, and evidence directly connecting him to the missing children. Investigators also recovered items belonging to the victims. Forensic evidence, combined with Miyazaki's own statements, allowed detectives to reconstruct what had happened during the previous year. The search lasted days. Police removed boxes of evidence from the apartment. News helicopters circled overhead. Japan watched in disbelief. The media quickly gave him a name: the Otaku murderer. At the time, the word otaku referred to people with intense interests in hobbies like anime, manga, model building, or science fiction. Most were harmless enthusiasts. But because Miyazaki possessed an enormous collection of animation and videos, many newspapers portrayed his crimes as somehow connected to otaku culture itself. That narrative created widespread moral panic. Suddenly, people with entirely innocent hobbies found themselves viewed with suspicion. Researchers today generally agree that this association unfairly stigmatized an entire community. Miyazaki's crimes reflected his own pathology, not a shared identity among hobbyists. The distinction is important. As the trial approached, another debate emerged. Was Miyazaki legally responsible for his actions, or was he suffering from severe mental illness? Psychiatrists evaluated him repeatedly. Some diagnosed personality disorders. Others suggested developmental conditions. During questioning, Miyazaki often spoke about an imaginary figure he called Ratman. He claimed this character influenced his actions. Sometimes he blamed Ratman entirely. Other times his explanations changed. The conflicting evaluations became one of the longest-running issues in the trial. Ultimately, the court concluded that despite his psychological problems, Miyazaki understood the difference between right and wrong. He knew what he was doing. He attempted to avoid detection. He concealed evidence. Those actions demonstrated criminal responsibility. The trial itself lasted years. Families of the victims sat through painful testimony. Investigators explained how they had pieced together the evidence. Psychiatric experts debated diagnosis after diagnosis. Meanwhile, Miyazaki often appeared detached. He spent portions of the proceedings sketching cartoons rather than engaging with testimony. Many observers interpreted this as indifference. Others believed it reflected his deteriorating mental state. In 1997, the Tokyo District Court sentenced him to death. Appeals continued for more than a decade. Finally, on June 17, 2008, Tsutomu Miyazaki was executed by hanging. But perhaps the most lasting impact wasn't the sentence. It was what happened afterward. Parents across Japan became far more cautious. Schools introduced stronger child safety education. Children were taught never to leave with strangers, even if those strangers claimed to know their parents. Law enforcement agencies expanded behavioral profiling techniques. Investigators also improved how serial cases were analyzed across different jurisdictions. The case influenced conversations about missing children, media responsibility, and forensic psychology for years afterward. Today, more than 3 decades have passed. It's easy to remember the killer's name. History often does that. But the names that deserve to be remembered most are Mari Konno, Masami Yoshizawa, Erika Namba, and Ayako Nomoto. 4 children, 4 families, 4 futures that should have continued. Cases like this remind us that the true legacy of crime should never be the person who committed it. It should be the lessons learned, the protections created, and the determination to ensure fewer families experience the same heartbreak. Because every major investigation, every safety campaign, and every improvement in child protection exists because someone once didn't make it home. And those are the lives we should never forget. Thanks for joining me tonight. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, take care of your loved ones, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.